Worldwide Referral Lead in OCP, and I'm going to be starting the presentation, but actually my colleague Megan is going to wrap up on the deal registration specific to co-sell. Megan, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Kate. I'm Megan LaFleur, and I work in the co-sell program side of things with Kate. And as she mentioned, I'll be talking us through some of the changes that we've had recently in deal registration and partner center. So.
Yeah, and then we also have a colleague, Chris Stanton, on the phone, who lives and breathes sort of deal registration every day, who we brought in as a SME to potentially ask some questions specific to this audience's needs if needed. So with that, let's get started. So what we want you guys to be able to do today is to walk away with clarity on managing referrals in Partner Center that you get from Microsoft, understand how to register a co-sale deal within Partner Center to share with us, and then the ability to access resources and help that are available out for you today, so you can learn more, or as quick tips and references if maybe you've forgotten one part of the process. One thing I want to share with you to start off this session is our principles for referrals. So the referrals that we're sending you is simply the commodity that we have generated that we are sharing out to you. And we want those to turn into lasting customer connections. So we do want you guys to accept them if they meet your business needs, and then hopefully win the deal. We also are driving a unified experience. As you guys have probably heard, we are combining everything into Partner Center. So that is where you will both manage your membership, you will also publish your solutions, and you will also receive your referrals. So with that unified experience, things should become more simplistic, and you should be able to have more consistent data into what is really coming your way and what you're sharing with us, and how your customer connections are driving business for your company. We also want to be consistent and transparent. So please feel free to ask questions if we are not being clear today. And also, one thing that's really important to note is that customer choice prevails. So when we generate demand from our side to share with you, it's really our customers are telling us what they need. It's not the other way around. So I want you guys to all understand that. And then also data. So as we converge into this unified experience, every time you accept a deal from us or don't accept a deal from us, or you're registering something with us, that is a data point that helps us inform what types of customers you want to continue to work with and align with your company's business needs. Also, so this question comes up a lot, so I just wanted to bring some clarity on how do we, Microsoft, generate referrals for you guys. There are sort of three buckets. There's web direct, so that can come from the partner directory, which is where your business profile is published out to. It can also come from AppSource or Azure Marketplace, which are our digital storefronts that your solutions would be published into. We also have marketing campaigns. So these are created through some of our other engines that we can then facilitate through you. They are typically based on Microsoft products. So something to keep in mind. And then we also have seller engagement. So we have many different types of sellers across Microsoft that want to connect our customers to our partner network. And so these can be smaller deals, but they can also be larger deals. So just something to keep in mind as we go through this process today. What I really want you guys to take away is how to manage for success. And you will get this deck, so I don't think you don't need to memorize anything. There's also videos and whatnot about how to do these specific steps out that we will get to also on the resources slide. But we really want to focus on success today. And with that, we'll go to the first step. So when Microsoft generates something for you, one thing that's important to keep in mind is that the referral administrator, which is something that your company has stipulated who that is, or a group of people that is, will get an email notification into their inbox, into their Outlook inbox, much like you would get a regular email. But then also that that referral will sit in your inbox in Partner Center. So on the right is a snap of Partner Center. And as you can see, there's an inbox. It is very much organized like an Outlook inbox. And this, you have 14 days as a company to accept this. If it doesn't get accepted, it goes into what's called an archive, and you no longer have access excuse me, to accept that referral or to work with that potential customer. So what we want you to do here is, if based on the information that will come through in the body of the email, and we are making daily almost updates into increasing the information we can share with you here, but what you should be able to see is who the customer is, what company they're from, what area, product, or solution this referral came from, the estimated deal size if available, any other notes that can come through that maybe the seller learned while through their engagement, what size the customer is, how you get in touch with them, and then any other details that we could potentially share with you. Now, if this is something that you believe would be great for your company, we want you to accept up here, and in the next box down here on the left, this window will pop up. And at this point, this is how you want to share this with your company. So if the timeline, ask you to enter the timeline, the deal value, the engagement name, however you want to track it through your system, any other notes, and then you would go to next. If for some reason this referral does not work for you, simply hit decline, and the drop down menu will come up as to a reason why this didn't fit. Again, this is one of those data points that helps us track and modify the referrals that we can send to you that would fit for your company needs. Any questions? Because I know that's been a lot.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
It seems like if you're declining, most of the responses are post contact with the customer. So is that how it's designed, that you may want to contact the customer first, feel them out, and then decline? Because most of those answers are more customer facing, hey, they didn't fit, they didn't have budget, so on and so forth.
Yes, you can do it either way. We do in the inbox give you the opportunity with the customer information to reach out to them before you decide to accept or decline. But if you looking at the information, it doesn't seem like it's someone that you would even want to call. You can decline it immediately without taking the step within your own organization to call a customer.
Gotcha. And then does it ding you for not accepting the second it comes out? Like if you accept it immediately versus 13 days in, does that score you differently?
So the window today is 14 days. And so within that window, it's all considered sort of equal response time. In the future, I believe that that may change, but today it is 14 days. So there's no difference from our data point perspective if it's day 1 or if it's day 7.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, so once you have accepted a referral, it goes into your active inbox, which is the active folder within your inbox, rather. And so it will sit under there. And at that point, that is where it would sit until your company either wins or loses the deal. So any engagement would be outside of Microsoft tooling at this point. But what we do want you to do, and we hope that you do, is we hope you win deals. And we need to know if you have won it or lost it. Whoops, sorry. So if the deal is won, enter the value, the contract date, et cetera. It's pretty straightforward information. If the deal is lost, again, there's a drop-down menu of data points that we would love to hear back from you that, again, helps us better inform future referrals that you could potentially get. And again, I want to say in here that these are screenshots of, excuse me, the experience today, but that we are constantly working to provide more information through these interfaces for you to better understand customer information, such as the sales plays it came from, bigger call out about the product it's from. So just be aware that you might see additions in here as we go forward and improve this experience for you. Now, there's also the archive inbox. So this is when a deal has been either declined, it expired, meaning it wasn't accepted in the 14 days, it was won, or it was lost. So it's everything that we've potentially sent you, and then it tracks the actions that you took. Any questions there?
Kate,
Go.
Sorry, please go
That's
ahead.
okay.
Yeah, if we accept the deal, is it still visible for the other partners, or is it the fastest fingers first or something like that?
No, so that's a really good question. So depending on the deal type, we are legally required to share with up to 3 partners. So in if you've accepted a deal and called a customer, there could potentially be another partner who has also accepted the deal and called the customer, because we're legally required to share with multiple. That doesn't happen as much in reference to IP co-sale deals, but anything that would be sales qualified could potentially also be shared with up to 3 partners.
Hey, Kate, I do want to, we've got a couple of questions during the chat, so I thought I'd just read them out. So Drew was asking, if a referral expires, does that negatively impact the partner's chance of receiving future referrals?
The only way it would have a negative impact is if there wasn't an action taken in that 14-day window. So if you decline it, no. If you accept it, no. But if it just expires, then yes.
And then there was a broader co-sell question from Dennis as well, about they're about to publish a D365 app in AppSource, and just the question was, will Microsoft also demand a monetary part like they do for the SaaS apps?
That would be a publishing question. I don't have the answer to that specifically, but in the publishing experience, you should be able to get a better answer to that. And if not, you can file a support ticket actually up within the question mark, which is really small on the screen right now. You can access that in that publishing experience. I don't know the answer to that, sorry.
Yeah, and Dennis, I can follow up with you as well. If you're enrolled in the ISV Connect program, I think I can answer that question for you. So we can address that. And there's one last one that just came in from David. How can you remediate if you let the referrals expire?
There isn't a remediate, and once they expire, they expire. So that's why that 14-day window is really important. So.
Kate, will you be able to share your email address so that I can get in touch with you offline to ask some basic questions?
You can, there will be lots of resources in the last slide on here that you can go to. You can also ask questions through this chat or through the Ask Me Anything, because we will be monitoring that. So I would just go ahead and utilize that.
Okay, so for example, we are a partner with Microsoft for the last 5 years, but unfortunately, my company was not engaging enough with people like you, and they've lost connections with Microsoft. And all the deals we're working is on our own initiatives and marketing, and that's how we've been working. And I have just started working on to create engagement with Microsoft. So, for example, we are not even aware of Partner Center. So I do not know how do I create a login for Partner Center. So.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely get you started. Yeah, we can definitely drop some information in the window to help you get started for sure. No problem there.
Can I share my email address in the chat box so that?
Yeah, I mean, I have your contact information through the chat, so we can get you the information. But yes, if you want to drop your email in, that's totally fine.
Sure.
All right, and with that, let's go to deal registration, and Megan, take it away and let me know when you want to move slides.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Kate. So just a couple of things I want to call out on the deal registration flows in Partner Center. They are a little bit different than what you've used previously in Partner Sales Connect. One of the key things I wanted to call out in deal registration is that you actually will kick off that process through your engagement. So once you have engaged with the customer, you've won the deal, what you actually do is you go into your engagement in your inbox, your active engagements, and you're going to click on one engagement, which is in the upper right part of the screenshot there on the top. And that will actually kick off the flow for you to be able to register your deal. There is an ability to go directly to the deal registration and create a new deal. This is specifically for the business applications, ISV Connect deals that were not necessarily co-sell deals. As part of that program, all deals need to be registered. And so there's an ability to register a non-co-sell deal. But anything that's been a co-sell deal will start from the engagement itself. By clicking one, you kick off that that deal registration process. So that's just kind of one key difference I wanted to highlight. There are a number of fields that are the same from what you have in Partner Sales Connect in terms of registering their deals. There is one new field I will call out a little bit, and there's more information on this in the videos and such and training resources that we'll provide. But we do ask now for both total contract value and total solution value. So the difference between those two things is the total solution value is minus any of those kind of one-time costs. And so it will generally be a little bit less than the total contract value. And again, there's details on exactly how to identify that in the resources and what you need to take into account. But that is something that is a little bit new, and it's a new field within the deal registration flow. Any questions on that?
Yes, this is Jim Stiff. Question on that. I mean, so it's a required field now?
It is a required field, yes.
Okay, but typically this early into a pursuit, we have it could be all over the place.
Correct. So this, Jim, these are deal registrations. So this is once you've won the deal and everything is kind of solidified. You have a contract signed. You have a contract start date, end date. Yeah. So we've jumped. Sorry if that wasn't clear. We've jumped from kind of the beginning of the process where we're kicking stuff off, and it's just a lead or a referral that's come in to the end of the process where you've closed and you have a contract in place.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, sorry if that wasn't clear. It was kind of a jump in the process flow. All right, Kate, why don't you take us to the next slide, and I'll just kind of talk through. There are a couple of different screens that you'll see under the deal registration tab. So what you'll have is the first one will be the action required. And so within that screen, within that tab of action required, you'll see in there any of the deals that you have won but haven't necessarily registered just yet. So you do have the option when you mark a deal as won to register that deal later. And when that happens, it will go into that action required, just to let you know that there's still kind of pending actions to take on that particular deal in order to register it with Microsoft. The other kind of deals that you'll find under the action required tab would be any deals that were submitted to Microsoft but have come back to you for further clarification. So those will be under the filter called update required, and you can find those by clicking that update required filter under the action required, and you'll be able to then address any of the questions that Microsoft had and submit it back to them in order to finalize that deal registration. So an example of what that might look like would be sometimes during the engagement process before the deal is won, it will have been marked as a contract with an end date, but then when the deal is registered, it might accidentally have been marked to a perpetual contract. And so Microsoft will just want to clarify, for example, hey, was there a specific end date, or is this a perpetual ongoing contract? That kind of a clarification is one reason why a deal might come back, or there could be a discrepancy in total contract value between the lead that you had and the referral that you're working on, and when you actually registered the deal. And again, there's just a question to clarify and make sure that we are registering with the right contract value, right? So those are the kinds of things that could come up. The other screen that you'll see under deal registration is the deal registration in progress. And so that's where any of your deals that have been submitted to Microsoft, you can see those that are being reviewed by Microsoft. They'll all be listed within that window. And then the final one is the deal registration closed. So anything that had been successfully registered and reviewed by Microsoft will be in that section. You'll be able to see if it's been approved or declined there. So just a quick overview of kind of how to navigate within that deal registration screen. Any questions on the deal registration side?
Should all deals be now registered in Partner Center rather than the Partner Sales Connect?
So it's going to depend. For the Business Applications ISV Connect program, they do need to be registered in Partner Center. For other deals, if the recommendation is that if you have the engagement and you've been working in Partner Center and any of these new referrals that you have, you are doing those, the whole process end to end, both the sharing of the referral as well as the deal registration in Partner Center. If you have something that's in progress that you've started out in Partner Sales Connect, you can go ahead and finish it out in Partner Sales Connect. But moving forward, as the referrals move on to Partner Center, that is going to be the platform going forward.
Question.
Sorry, I have a question from the chat box that I'd like to say out loud. Is there a way to review partner referral score with a Microsoft rep?
Can you read it again, please, so I understand the question?
Yeah, so is there a way to review your partner referral score with a Microsoft rep?
As like a sales rep? Like
I can. That was my question. I can clarify.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if you have a backend, score that you're looking at in regards to like if you let leads expire or they sit active for too long. Is there a way to just go over that sort of score on the back end with someone from Microsoft, whether that be a sales rep or whoever?
So great question. So you can actually see on here and on the analyze section of that, within Partner Center, there will actually be one of the new additions coming out is robust analytics that you can have access to that's going to give you the information, such things as, your expiration date, your win rate, things like that. So you will have direct access to that. So we will be looking at the same data points. Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then, if there's concern or discrepancy in those data points compared to what your company obviously thinks the data points are, please flag that to us through support so that we can get to the bottom of where the disconnect is, because hopefully there's some kind of blip and we can get right back on the same page.
Can you clarify what support you're talking about?
So in one thing that's important to understand as we unify into Partner Center as a tool, there will be a unified support experience. How you file a support ticket today may not be different. You go to whack support, or you can literally within Partner Center click on the question mark and drop down into the support experience, and it goes to the same frontline support entity.
So, quick question to piggyback.
Yep.
We've had difficulty putting in like a dummy request in our area for our core competencies, and we were never popping up on the search results. So is that something we would talk to those folks about, or is that another entity? Because that to me is a pretty big deal, that if our profile's crazy or Microsoft doesn't recognize, the core competencies of the company and the location being a mile, half mile from the requester, that we didn't even pop up. I just want to make sure that that's fixed immediately, so we're not losing out opportunities.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. And yes, there's two avenues. One, file a support ticket, and then
Okay.
also as far as optimization of publishing, which is what we would classify that as, there are no cost benefits to optimize and understand best practices that you can access through your go-to-market services. So if it's your solution that you've published directly to the customer in AppSource or Azure Marketplace, you can access it through that, or you can access it through your business profile at gtm@microsoft.com, or through, there's actually a link in the next slide, which is a good time to go to that,
Great.
that you can go through the optimization aspect of it. So here, right here in the center is the GTM one I referenced, and then within Marketplace, there are no cost benefits to you to better understand how it's working. And then if it seems to still not be working, which is obviously not the outcome we want, go to support, because there might be a problem with, there could be many potential issues. So those are your escalation. That's your escalation path for sure.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Jim, I do see there are several questions from you in the chat. I just want to make sure that we've answered most of them. You did ask about using the Partner Sales Connect.
Yeah, I think I'm clear on that one. But
okay.
The next one I have, so we've got, we do CSP in about 20 different countries. And we also have like a global NPN. And so should we be trying to do our referrals through that, or deal registrations through the global partner center, or the local kind of partner center that we have for each CSP entry? Did that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, so the recommendation is more to have one partner center account, but there are a number of partners like yourself that have multiple accounts within Partner Center.
Yeah. So the advice that I would give is that there is a way to, if you choose to, combine into having a Partner Center account, if you choose to do that. And then that would, obviously with one account, there would be less entities for you to manage. But if you are having multiple accounts, then Partner Center is going to identify them differently and sort of treat them independently. So there would be potentially more bifurcation or trifurcation or quadrification, however many there are, management for you guys. So I think it's probably something that we just need to walk through and say what's going to work best for you guys.
Yeah, I've been managing it through our CSP Partner Center for the local for US, and I've been trying to stay out of Global's way over in Europe. So
yeah, that might be just something we can take offline and say, like, these are sort of the options, and sort of choose which would be best for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Are there any other questions before we sign off? And we will be back on at 4 p.m. Pacific time if you want to repeat, or we can answer questions through the chat window that will continue into the forum. So with that, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.